Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rob Has a Podcast. I'm your host, Taran Armstrong, here tonight to talk through this Sunday night episode of Do You Know the Muffin Man? With me tonight to talk about Big Brother here on a Sunday night are some of my friends, my actual friends. Chantele, how you doing, Chantele?
I did not know that I need to see the Chronicles of the Muffin Man. Like, I was watching this, and I don't think I've ever actually laughed like out loud when I'm watching an episode of Big Brother. I was laughing, and I'm like, oh my god, I need more of this. Like, just the music that they put behind it, and her and the cane and the limping, like, it was gold, and it really made for. Not much else went on in the episode. It was excellent. I would watch a whole episode of just those Chronicles. So I'm in good spirits.
All right. Also with us tonight is David Bloomberg. How you doing, David?
Good. But, this muffin top used to be a whole muffin.
Oh, no.
Someone ate the bottom of my muffin. And, I'm okay with that because I actually prefer muffin tops. So.
Do you think if Turner had eaten just the muffin bottom, would she have gone around being like, "Who did you eat the bottom? Did you eat my bottom? Joseph?"
I'm like pulling out all my.
Oh no, we've broken Chantele.
We broke her.
What's this? We're 2 minutes into the podcast. We're already breaking Chantele. All right, don't eat anybody's bottom.
Yeah.
I'm almost back. Okay.
Once again, this is what happens when Rob leaves the podcast in my hands, my trustworthy hands. I eat his muffin. So we are here tonight again to talk through this Sunday night episode of Big Brother 24. I thought this was a good episode. I really enjoyed it. There were a couple of things that were like, but for the most part, this was a solid episode. I'll tell you, they scared me in the beginning when they were like, the muffin heist that broke the internet. I was like, oh boy, here we go. This is like when your mom gets her hands on like your friend's in jokes and just like ruins it. Like, oh, hey guys, you hear about the muffins? You're like, Mom. You're making it not funny anymore.
The difference is I would be the parent in that situation. And my kids would be the ones saying that to me. So,
So it's like if David got his hands on the muffin joke.
No, my question is, though, do we know what kind of muffins they were? I don't remember if they actually stated what type of muffins they are, because that would also change.
Warm, delicious muffins.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she did tell us what kinds of muffins they were.
She shall be my squishy.
Oh, yes.
You're squishy. Okay. I mean, I do have like a preference of different types of muffins. I don't like all muffins. I think top of my list is a carrot muffin. That's my favorite.
Really? That's the top of the list.
Yes.
The carrot muffin.
Have to have the cream cheese frosting.
Carrot, yes, delicious. And some people don't like raisins and like nuts and stuff like that, but like I don't have anything in my carrot muffin. Just saying.
What if somebody just ate the carrots out of your carrot muffin?
like the shredded carrots? That's a little bit strange. I might go on a mission to go and determine who ate the shredded carrots in my muffin.
You could, check them for orange fingertips or orange tongues.
Good eyesight.
Yeah.
Hey, Chantele, I think you might still be on the wrong mic.
I know. Okay, hold on one second.
Yeah. Okay. But yes, we're going to talk about it all. We have a new set of nominations. We have a new HOH, and as we've talked about, a new muffin heist, muffin thief on the prowl, we should say. But we started off with some fallout from the Nicole eviction that Daniel is, he's still not happy that the last time we heard from him, he was saying this.
Oh, my God. Just end the season already.
And when we come back in, he's basically in that same place. You can't split $750K. He's approaching Alyssa. He's like, what's going on? I can't believe you did this after everything that I did for you, like use the veto on you to put my friend on the block. Are you even sorry? Like, yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're not. You're not.
No, you're not. You're not.
Yeah, I would be so uncomfortable if I were Alyssa. Like, she just was kind of like, didn't know what to say, couldn't really say anything. She knows that she did wrong by him. And I was feeling for her because, like, just his attitude, like how, like, I get it. Like, it was frustrating. He's the only person that was on the other side of this vote. It was his best friend. I get it. I'd be upset too. But just kind of how he was kind of going at her, I felt bad for her. And I was like, I would be very uncomfortable with kind of being around him right after that.
Yeah, I think everyone was uncomfortable with him. You know, Kyle tried to shut him down and that didn't work. And he's off in his own little crybaby world. You know, oh, you're not really here to play Big Brother. I've been trying to play for 10 years. And then I came here and focused on one woman and admitted that it completely mentally threw me off, but I'm going to keep going with it.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm just excited that I have a new soundbite to use every time I play Goose Goose Duck on Twitch now. That if somebody's like, no, I swear I'm not. I'm good. I'm a good goose. I'm a good goose.
No, you're not. You're not.
So silly.
But yeah, you know, the thing about it is, like, you know, Daniel, he talks about, like, you know, I've waited 10 years to do this. And I love that Michael later in the episode is going to 10 up him and be like, I've been waiting 20 years to play this game. But like, his downfall is directly the result of the way that he treated Taylor. Like, this alliance formed almost specifically to counter that kind of behavior. And, you know, the other element is actually Alyssa outing old school, but he doesn't know that. But I guess in some ways, you know, she is the right person for him to direct his ire because of that. But here he is. He's gonna say to Monty, like, all right, write him the check already, the one that you can't split. Because Monty's in that final two. Oh, and there's Michael. He's also in the final two. Michael's going to win the game. Monty's going to win the game. And at this point, I'm pretty sure that he's just singling out the tall people. Right?
But the thing is, though, with this, like, I can understand him being mad, as I said already, but, like, aren't they just about to do a head of household competition? Like, you kind of gotta wait for them to have even more ammunition to go against you. Like, you know, maybe keeping this at the back of your hand, just being like, yeah, you got me, good game, guys. Like, man, that hurts, that sucks, but, like, good game, whatever. And then go in, play the competition, and see then maybe if you could use these, like, calling out people to your advantage. But beforehand, it just gives them a reason to be like, let's get him out of here. He's calling out my game. He's putting a target on my back. I don't need him here. So
yeah, I mean, even Nicole, we saw, she put on her fake smile and haha, you just called me stupid in your speech. Haha, I'll hold your hand. I'll go out and smile. She's the one who got voted out, and she could at least, you know, pretend. And Daniel's just sitting there seething and continues his emotional output. It's like, dude, you're the one who has to get back in with these people, not give them more reason to get rid of you. He just cannot get over himself.
Yeah, and Turner's like, dude, people lose their best friends in the game all the time.
Yeah.
Turner should know.
Yeah.
He lost his pooch. So Turner's clowning on him, and this like fight between him and Monty is really just going in circles because Monty's not engaging.
Right.
Monty's just like, what do you want me to tell you, dude? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give you anything here. And so Taylor just pops out the Lays. Is Taylor gonna change your name to Lays?
Well,
Taylor?
Really, it's really confusing because my son had a good friend in school named Taylor Lay. So whenever I see this, I just automatically associate them.
There you go.
Isn't that the new nickname that Jasmine has for her? Is like T-Lays?
T-Lays.
I think so. T-Lays or Tay-Lays? Something like that.
Look, she's putting in the work. They've now got a new sound effect, the crunching of the chip. And they've gone all in. They really like their food this season. They've got Lay's, they've got muffins. They didn't show it, but there was the leftovers, fajita gate. Like there are lots of food things going on this season. Also, this is just a little tidbit from the feeds. But Nicole was voted out. Nicole, obviously, former police officer, current chef. And now that Nicole has been voted out, many of the people in the house have gone, Nicole's gone now, so I feel a little more comfortable saying this, but I prefer Indy's cooking. I'm kind of glad that Indy's cooking now.
Yeah, in Nicole's exit interview, she's talking about like how the house kids all love her food so much, and they're gonna be so upset they don't get poached eggs the next morning, and they're probably like, "Yes, I don't have to like be forced to eat this food and pretend that I like it because she's a chef."
Not great advertising for her services.
Yeah. So that goes down, and we don't even get any of the HOH competition in this segment yet. We're going to come back from commercial, and we're going to start in on the HOH competition. And right away, we're greeted with cardboard cutouts of Pooch and Amira holding bags of dog poop.
What does this have to do with festivals? Actually, that's where I was trying to figure out. I'm like,
Poop fest.
Oh,
You know what? Maybe it wasn't dog poop.
oh,
I don't know.
Would it be something like edible? Like
I'm assuming that festivals don't allow dogs, so it's got to be someone's.
Okay. This is an interesting festival. Have you been to a festival like this? Are you speaking from experience, Taran?
You know what? I'm pretty sure I haven't seen any actual poop at a festival before, but it wouldn't surprise me if I did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Festivals can get a little weird.
True.
Yeah.
No, that was the festival last week that got real weird.
Yeah. Well, I was imagining like, okay, you went on the show, you embarrassed yourself, you got voted out early, you dressed in all their dumb costumes, you got humiliated by getting voted out by your fellow castmates. You're off the show now. It's over. You don't have to deal with it anymore, except they're now using your likeness to hold bags of poop.
Yeah.
Do you think this has anything to do with maybe brainstorming their superhero that they're going to be later on the season? Their comic?
I don't know.
Poop man.
Just throwing out some ideas out there. Let's see what sticks.
I just don't understand what was the dog tie-in here. It was something to do with dogs because they were holding bags of poop, and they had these awful sound drops. Like this. Genuinely, you can watch the moment because I'm watching this live on Twitch. That you can when I hear this, I genuinely panicked. What is that? It's awful.
I don't know.
It was an upset dog.
Well, do you think it has to do with maybe the fact that we have Turner and Pooch, so like that kind of like talks about dogs and stuff like that, and then also have like the Pound, what's her name, Pound Posse,
Yeah, the
Pound
Pound.
Back, whatever, the Pound, and so that's also could be like a dog pound. So maybe that's where they're running with that theme. Maybe a little nod to those two.
I guess so. I just don't get what it has to do with festivals.
Yeah. Or you're not going to take, I think at the beginning they called it like a dog park or something like that too. And it's like the dog is going to try to walk on these balance beams or
Has anyone been to a festival where there's like dog parks for your dog?
Do you know what there might actually be though? Now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I feel like there would be like certain types of dogs. There would be like a festival or like get all these types of dogs together. So everybody that owns, I don't know, a poodle, it'd be like a poodle fest. So maybe there's something like that.
Maybe.
There might be. I mean, I feel like that's like possible, having like a poodle fest.
A poodle fest. I like it. Well, this I felt like I actually like this competition for the most part. Obviously, it is one of those kind of physical competitions that I'm not super fond of because, you know, you do get Jasmine stepping up to the plate and it's like,
limping,
next.
limping up to the plate.
Yeah. So, you know, don't love that, but I like the competition in general because it's usually very exciting to watch because you're watching people race through this thing and it's usually playing out live. And, you know, it's very exciting. I felt like this one really fell flat, like Turner did, because first of all, the one guy that couldn't win was first.
Yeah.
And then the one guy that beat him was second. And then nobody could come close through the rest of the competition. And obviously, we knew the outcome ahead of time, which I'm sure did not help. But the fact that like Daniel was already out of the competition after the first person who went after him was just ridiculous. Not to mention the fact that I just don't really understand the point of letting them know what time there is to beat. Like they weren't allowed to watch what was happening. The fact that Daniel goes first gives him a massive disadvantage because now Michael knows, okay, I need to go for this faster one if I want to beat him. And he does. And that's it. So why not just not show them the time to beat? I feel like that's a very simple solution to the fairness issue. And then on top of that, if you don't show them the time to beat and you're not doing it live, there's this thing called editing. And sometimes you don't have to show things in order of when they actually happen. Now, I know that you're familiar with this, Big Brother, because you just did it with the muffins. So what you could do is if you accidentally had Daniel go first and then Michael beat him right after, you could actually just pretend like Daniel went last or something like that. And it would be way more exciting. I'm telling you. Like maybe Daniel goes second to last and Michael's last. And so it's like Daniel just beat everybody. Oh no. You know, I just feel like there's a way to do that. Would be much nicer. Would be much more fun.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when they did this comp last time. And yeah, these were the same criticisms everybody had that, you know, I remember talking about it on Twitter, might have talked about it on a podcast. It was the same thing. Yeah. Why are you showing their times? For that exact reason. You're giving a huge disadvantage to the people who went early, an advantage to people who went, well, after first, I guess. And I mean, in this case, it worked against Daniel. So, you know, yeah, all right. You know, probably most people aren't complaining too much, but still the overall issue, the fairness issue should be, yeah, don't show the times. And, you know, would have had that. I mean, Kyle looked like he was close. So, maybe there would have been, we could have seen just how close he was as they're, you know, ticking it down, like you said. And it makes no sense why they do it this way.
And also, though, it would prevent people from potentially throwing the competition because it's like, you know, you could easily throw something like that if you know that the time to beat is 11.80 seconds. Like you could be like, oh, am I too slow now? If you want somebody else to win that. And so it kind of takes out any sort of suspense, as both of you have mentioned, in the game because it's like, okay, my ally already got this. I don't need to work hard. Or, you know, like the fact that Daniel, like if Daniel was able to just go and then everybody else went and they had no idea what the times were going to be, they would actually, it would be suspenseful because you'd be like, ooh, are they going to throw it? Are they going to do well? Like, how are they going to approach this? And we kind of would get to see their inner workings as to how they're going to do this competition, not knowing who is in the lead. So I think they took a lot of the suspense out of this competition and they gave us kind of a nothing burger of a competition.
Yeah, I would say like probably on the bright side, maybe it goes a little faster this way, which I'm okay with. But it was probably the weakest part of the episode for me, just because it was over immediately, and I'm sure it was pretty long overall. It was just more fun watching live on Twitch because we made a prediction for how many falls there would be, which helped speed the segment along a little bit.
How many were there in total? I guess we'd obviously
5 total falls.
Okay,
ending with Turner's face plant. Yeah.
Oh, that looks scary though. I was worried for him.
And
Yeah, they made like a joke of it, but man, that looked pretty serious.
I was like, that he could have really hurt himself badly. Like for you to be doing it in slow-mo and all that. I'm like, it didn't look like a funny fall. It wasn't a banana peel slip. It looked like it was potentially very dangerous.
Yeah, like face plant right into the side, you know, but nobody would ever hurt themselves on any comps.
Oh no, they're very strict
safe
about safety protocols. They don't want any injuries in any of their competitions, and we're definitely not going to see any. Really, the only other interesting thing about this competition for me was that we learned that Alyssa can't ride a bike.
True. I noted that. That's wild to me because I've been riding a bike for quite a long time. So
yeah, and like no shame to people that can't ride a bike because they've never had a bike. They've never tried to ride a bike. It seemed to me like Alyssa was saying, "Oh, I've tried many times. Can't do it."
It seemed. I mean, I would have to see it in action because I feel like I could teach her how to ride a bike. Like I feel like it's quite easy. Yeah, I want to see her try this. I hope that they're using this as maybe a competition now because I want to see her try to ride a bike.
Yeah. All right. Well, Michael is going to win the HOH, and man, Michael is just crushing these competitions. I mean, take his word for it. He said on the feeds he threw the second HOH competition. We saw him throw the third HOH competition. He lost the crapshoot one with the envelopes last week, wins this one. He actually was only in second place for the very first HOH competition where they were hanging. Daniel beat him in that part, and then he did not compete in the second part of that first HOH. But either way, what this says is that Michael has either come in second place or done very well or thrown all of the HOH competitions and now has won one of them and has won as of now 3 out of the 4 vetoes. The one he didn't win, he didn't play in. So doing pretty well here in these competitions, Michael.
Doing too much though. Yeah. I mean, I really like Michael. I want to see him do well. I'm impressed by the fact that he's, you know, hitting some stats that are pretty impressive. But I'm just worried it's happening too soon. Like it's like people are going to be like, as soon as they can turn on Michael, they're like, we got to get him out of here. He's going to win everything. He's going to win every veto. He's going to win every head of household. Like we're going to have to take him out. And so I feel like his story might end sooner than later for the fact that people are going to become so scared of him. And so I wish that, I mean, I know that he was trying to prevent Daniel from getting it, but with what he was contemplating at some point, like, you know, maybe he should have just let Daniel have it, and then maybe he would have had things shake out a little bit differently. So I'm not sure if it was worth it for his game on a whole, winning this particular one. But I understand the moment, though, wanting to get out Daniel. So
I think the tricky thing is what Brittany says a little bit later, which is that they are the only uninsulated pair of besties. And what that means is, if you aren't really tracking the bestie strategy, that Michael and Brittany are the only people within the leftovers that anybody outside of the leftovers could actually vote out, because everybody else in the leftovers is in a bestie group that includes at least one member outside of the alliance, which means that they can all vote with their numbers that person out over the people in the leftovers who are in the bestie group. But Michael and Brittany are it's just them in the duo. And so if they go on the block, there's no outs, there's nothing they can do. One of them has to go. And so they are a bit more vulnerable because of that. And so that's, I think, a large part of why Michael wanted to win this one. But because of his previous wins, it's definitely stacking up here for Michael's resume.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a balancing act, you know, and he feels like he needs to be winning these. And this one, like you said, I do think he, especially having the information that we saw, that we said he shouldn't have had. I do think he felt he had to beat Daniel. But I don't know. I can't criticize him for it at this point. Now, if he ends up getting targeted for it, will I bring it up in why Michael lost? Yes, I will. But at this point, I understand why he's doing it. I just wish there was another way. Maybe he'll back off more once the bestie twist is over and let, Monty and Joseph draw some attention, and maybe even Kyle. But then again, he may say, well, now I want to take out those guys, so I can't let them win and get the first shot at me. So he may just justify all the way through.
Well, we're going to see Michael celebrate with Brittany and then Taylor. Very, very nice to see some celebrations. We hear from Taylor.
That's my friend. My actual friend.
It's like it's medicine for your heart.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It is just so nice to see her happy. Like, not just kind of being like, oh, I hurt somebody again. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to go apologize. Like, it was just so, and we know that she hasn't really done anything to deserve what she was getting in the last, few weeks. And so just to see that she's in an alliance, she has a sub-alliance within this alliance of people who actually want her to be there, who are strategizing with her, her opinion, her voice matters. Like, it is really touching for the heart, because everybody got to experience the game that way from the very beginning. And so now that she's kind of getting to have this experience, I'm very, very happy for her.
Yeah. It's good. Like I felt the same way when she was saying, oh, my actual friend. I don't look forward to when they eventually vote her out, because they can't beat her at the end. But, for the moment, we'll take what we can get.
Yes. So they briefly talk about a plan to take out Daniel. That's probably the way to go. We're going to hear a little bit later, though, that there might be some other options. So we'll get back to that. We also get a little more Taylor content here as she explains to Indy and Alyssa, like, hey, I joined your group because I like you guys. And Indy's like, yeah, put a target on our backs. I'm like, because Indy's like, oh, Taylor being in our group means we're going to have targets because people are going to want to target Taylor. And in my head, I'm just like, Indy, you're a bigger target than Taylor right now. There are more people that want Indy out than want Taylor out at this point in the game.
Yeah,
and
they
also,
they just can't. They can't get out of that mode. Some of them, I mean, last week it was, Nicole still calling her public enemy number one. No, she is not. And Indy's still, I mean, I know it's been said on almost every podcast, I think, but tunnel vision. I mean, they're so focused on this one thing. They can't get it out of their head. I don't understand it. I don't know that we've ever seen anything quite like it.
Well, it's also frustrating to watch Indy, like, not just being open and kind to this person. Like, we got all these clues that, like, okay, that Turner didn't like how Taylor has been treated in the house. Taylor stays. Like, are they not maybe putting some other pieces together that maybe we are seeing Taylor in a way that's the rest of the house is not seeing her? And like, wouldn't she think that maybe, like, whoa, maybe if I'm against Taylor, that's not a good thing for my game, because it seems like the people that have been against Taylor for these last two evictions are the ones that are going out of the game. So maybe I need to suck up to Taylor and maybe get Taylor to like me, because it seems like people that come after Taylor go home. So the fact that she's not putting any of that together is wild to me. And like, if you really want to be there in this house, in this game, why are you just lying there with a sour look on your face with sunglasses on when somebody is trying to be nice to you? It's still a social game, whether you like Taylor or not, whether you want her to be your festy bestie or not. It's definitely not going to help your game by being crusty and mean to your festy bestie. So I'm not sure what game she's playing, but I'm not enjoying it.
Yeah, Ovi talked about this on Why Nicole Lost. It was, each of the four players, Paloma. Okay, now she was, self-evicted, medevac, whatever you want to call it. She was targeting Taylor, and then Pooch, and then Amira, and then Nicole, and he compared it to the old, I think, Bruce Lee movies where they come after him and boom, they go down, and boom, they go down. It's like, get a clue, people. You're not going to win this battle.
Yeah, I feel like the TikTok version of why X lost this season should just be they were mean to Taylor.
Yeah. I mean,
Boom.
these have been the podcasts have been shorter than usual because it has been so heavily focused. It's like, yeah, we could talk about every time they were mean to Taylor, but Taran, like you've said, yeah, that would be a 2-hour podcast every day, and so it's yeah, it's just funny over and over again, and so
I'm telling you, this is a gold idea. As I know you're a TikToker, David.
Yes.
It's YX Lost, and then clip of Paloma being mean to Taylor, followed by Paloma. She didn't walk out the door, but like Paloma
Right.
being evicted. Clip of Pooch being mean to Taylor. Pooch walking out the door. Amira walking out the door. Nicole mean to Taylor, walking out the door. It's fire, as Turner would say.
Okay, hold on, I'm taking
And
the
hearing
notes.
like the
I'm taking
crunching
notes.
chips in the background. So it's like you're just walking around.
Yeah,
like,
and then Taylor at the end with some Lays.
her superpower. I can't wait to see her superhero. Her comic.
Yes, Super Lays or Lays Woman.
All right, so we're gonna get a segment. This one happened, I think it happened like a full-on like 2 weeks ago at this point, maybe a week and a half ago, that Kyle and Joseph and Turner are outside. They're doing like a TikTok thing, I think, doing one of these, this is what TikTok people do.
That's exactly what I do.
Exactly.
It's not. It's actually not. It's okay.
It's See, I'm doing it just the same as you. See, and so they're doing that, and then Jasmine's like, "Whoa! You pushed the foot. You pushed it. Do you need some ice? No, but yes." No, that's too much ice, but it's fine. And Turner does his best, like Jim Halpert, like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll the tapes on this one, big brother. Did he actually touch the foot? I was a little, it's they decided to roll the tapes back on this one, but not on the Jasmine HOH foot touch. Interestingly,
Yeah.
But I don't know. I saw this footage. It was still unclear to me whether or not it touched.
Yeah, it was a bad angle. I think
Yeah.
if this were a baseball game or a football game, they would have said inconclusive, original call stands.
Well, I don't think it actually touched, but I think when she pulled her, like the reflex of her pulling her foot back might have made her foot maybe move or feel like, tense up. And so I think that's what hurt, but I don't think she actually was touched. That's from what I saw from the angle, that it seems like no touch, but still pain could have happened.
I thought it was interesting that they used this to set up the muffin thievery later, and not the segment of like Jasmine stealing Turner's food or any of that. Like like the slightly more relevant content to why, as he says in the episode multiple times, she's driving him crazy. But hey, it was a funny segment.
Well, I think that they probably didn't show that because they wanted to see that she was getting like irritated with her, and that she blows things out of proportion. So I think it was that like
actually,
parallel.
yeah. You know what? I think this actually does work better because of how they play the muffin segment, where you don't know that it's Turner at first. If they had shown Jasmine stealing Turner's food, it would have been obvious right away that it was revenge. But this is just like, random scene of Turner being annoyed. And so it's I've come around. This is good setup.
Yeah, I also feel like someone saw this scene and was like, we've got to find a way to use this. We've got to find a way to work this in. And then the Muffin Gate came up and they're like, oh, well, now we have the way. We'll connect the dots here.
Yeah. So we have a brief scene with Monty and Joseph talking about going up on the block. That's, we're going to get back to that later. The real content here is that we've got some muffins on the counter, and Jasmine is pretty excited about these muffins. I don't think they were like super explicit about this, but Jasmine was a have-not. So she was not able to eat the muffins right away, which is part of why she was saving the muffins for later, as she picked them out.
She shall be my squishy.
I mean, this segment was just so so delicious, no pun intended. It was like, I just was loving watching it, especially knowing that it was coming. I was like, how are they going to play this? Like, it was interesting to watch on the feeds. It was interesting to hear every single person updating about like Muffin Gate, what's going on with the muffin. Like, it's been so, everybody's so invested in this storyline. So I was very excited to see how the editors were going to put it together, because they probably were so excited about Muffin Gate. Like, even on the feeds, you know, you'd see them like zooming in on the muffin. Like, it's like they were already involved in the Muffin Gate storyline, that I was very excited to see how they were going to cut it all together.
Yeah. So she picks out a couple of muffins. She's saving them for later, except when she comes back to them, dun, 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 half of a muffin is gone. And I was concerned at first, because part of why Muffin Gate was so fun is that Jasmine took it way too seriously at first. She was really going around grilling people about her muffins. And then later on, she was like, nah, I'm in on this joke. We're going to play detective. And she was funny when she did that. But it only worked because she was actually also mad about it. And I was worried because they started right out of the gates with her being like, that's my squishy. And I got to find out who's this muffin thief. That they'd play this like she was in on it all the way. But the content itself, I think, helped speak for itself. And the long clip of her going up the stairs, like, they're gonna do this to me. I can't believe this is nonsense to do my muffins.
And all I could think of is her on like that chair that we talked about last week, like going up, like cursing about her muffins with her cane in her hand. Like, that's all I was picturing.
And they go, we even see her like go to Turner first, and I thought they might reveal it there, but he was like, no, this is just another reason why she is so annoying, right? And she goes up, and we see the show version of the muffin clip that I have played before. It was this is what happened on the feeds.
Come on in.
Who ate the half? Was it you, Joseph?
They took out my favorite part, which is, who ate the half? Muffin? But it was still very good. Still very good, because we got the facial expressions, which are very good, which was like, was it you, Joseph? And they amplified the sort of like awkward tension a little bit, which was good. Man, it's so good. And I loved the fact that they didn't reveal who the real Muffin Man was, until the moment where this was a moment, and it doesn't happen that often. This was a moment when I was like, I should have done that in the update. I should have held back that Turner was the muffin thief until this conversation as well, because it's such a good reveal to have Taylor say, I think Jasmine might be playing us all. Yeah, I think so too. That's why I ate her muffin.
Oh my God, it must have been so satisfying to hear that. Just being like, who ate it? Like, they're probably all like, who actually ate the muffin? Like, I wouldn't have minded seeing some more people like wondering, like, who ate this muffin? But yeah, they did a pretty good job with their reveal.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
What are we going to do without Muffin Gate, though?
Well, isn't there a second half to it? Or are they going
to a second quarter?
Yeah.
So Turner reveals that he ate the muffin. They did not make this clear, but Turner going in with the fork, that was Muffin Gate 2.0. And again, they didn't make that clear. So I'm not sure if we're going to get this one.
You see what I'm saying? They ate half of the muffin, then they came back and ate another piece of the muffin.
I'm not sure we're gonna get that yet.
Well, we might have to. Yeah,
I mean, her sneaking around, hiding behind the couch, playing detective. I mean, how can they not show that?
We'll see. Hopefully Muffin Gate. Because I also make this prediction during the stream. Who gets the final diary room? I thought there was a chance that after all of the talk of nominations and plans for a backdoor and future possibilities, that there might be like a muffin cliffhanger to the episode. I feel like there was a missed opportunity there that there wasn't.
That's
Like-
the only
like
cliffhanger I
Jazz-
will ever let them have.
Like Jasmine finding out that half of her half was eaten was that had been the end of the episode. I feel like that would have solidified top episode of all time for me.
Yeah.
He continued.
Yes. I mean, not to jump ahead, but I think it would have been a better ending than the one we had to the episode. So
Yeah, I think so. So that's Muffin Gate. We've got Muffin Gate. It's time for the leftovers to meet up and discuss the plan. Monty says he is willing to go up. It looks good because it'll hide the relationship that they have. It'll be a good way to backdoor Daniel. And Taylor's very pleased that it doesn't have to be her anymore.
mhm.
It doesn't have to be me. This is amazing.
I'm happy that it doesn't have to be Taylor because, like, I had picked her first on every draft that I'm on, and like some of them I'm losing points. I'm like, like I still think that she has a good chance of maybe winning this game, but she keeps on getting nominated, so I'm losing points. So thank you, Taylor, for staying off the block.
And I thought this was fun too. Like, you can tell that the producers themselves are happy because it's like this is like everything they want, where the majority alliance is likable and people are rooting for them. And so they're just like hanging out, discussing casually how easy it's going to be to take out their enemies. And it's like, your turn to go up on the block. Like, haha, this is, we're just doing this. Oh, look at me. Look at us running the game. Like, if this was an unlikable majority, this would be insufferable. But this was a very fun segment to watch them all vibing and just like hanging out. It was nice.
Yeah, I guess the question is, and it's one you've brought up many times already, is does production actually understand why we're okay, we the fans are okay with it this time, but we're often not okay with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like they really needed, like when is the last time the fans were on board for a majority alliance to steamroll for a while? Like never?
Yeah.
I don't think that's possible. Maybe on Survivor, like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
I mean, obviously, like the cookout, I think a lot of people were rooting for, but even then, it got a little boring after a while because it wasn't as like, there wasn't as much turmoil within the group itself in terms of like, will they actually betray each other? I don't know. And I'm sure that eventually, if the leftovers continued to steamroll, that people would eventually be like, all right, we've had enough of this.
Yeah.
I think people were on board with the cookout as they were with the leftovers for a short period of time like this in terms of like the excitement level. But really, I mean, not very often do we have a situation like that. We've had majority alliances that people are rooting for, but that they don't actually succeed. So it's pretty rare. Pretty rare is kind of the point here. And it's fun to watch, though. But part of why it's fun to watch is that as Michael watches these happy people just chilling, having a good time, in the back of his mind, he's thinking, I don't know, I've waited 20 years to be an HOH, and I can't let my opportunity to make a big move pass. I don't want to miss the shot here.
I don't know. I think though, I understand where he's coming from. Like but I think with this twist of the bestie besties, I think that also is stopping him from potentially making a big move. He doesn't know how long is this going to last, and so it's stopping him from actually being able to make a big move. But I understand him wanting to do something. I was like, while he has this power, because he might not get it again, but then at the same time, I get his hesitancy because of the fact that he doesn't know how this twist is going to play out. So. You shouldn't have won it, Michael. You wouldn't have to be in that position. Win it next week. It would have been fine, possibly, because you'd probably be out of the festy bestie twist. But
yeah, I no matter what, I think it's too early to make the stereotypical big move. And it's just he's like, well, people will really remember if I'm the one who take out Monty. No, they won't. It'll be 50 days from now. I mean. It's pre-jury. Are people even gonna, if he takes out Monty now, who's going to remember? Who's going to care at that point? I think it's similar to on Survivor, where people it's the second vote of the season, we're gonna make a big move. Nobody even remembers those people. I mean, it's just it's too soon. So whatever it is that's might keep him from doing that and restrict his ability, it's working to his advantage.
Yeah. Well, we got to talk about some fireworks. Because some fireworks are popping off as Kyle and Alyssa are hanging out in the storage room. Is this a showmance? Can we call it that?
The thing is, like, I like love shows. I watch Love Island. I watch Love Island UK. Like, those were coming on twice a day. I was covering both of them, and I didn't want to watch this. I was like, no. I'm like, like I was cringing at just like not wanting to see this go down. So I do not ship this couple.
Yeah, we went from like, Muffin Gate. Yeah, this is so exciting to.
Oh, God. Just end the season already.
The best part of it is honestly for me the whole thing was worth it for Jasmine to come in. You guys know who ate my half?
It was the perfect way to break up that scene. I was like, thank you. Okay, that's why I think that's why we got it, was for that to kind of put the button on the Muffin story for the episode.
So then we're gonna get this sort of like I call it like these like obligatory segments that kind of summarize the overall position but aren't really exactly representative of the events that occurred or who was influential upon them. Daniel's gonna make a pitch. The pitch that Daniel made didn't matter. The real pitch came from Kyle, and we are not seeing that pitch. Hopefully we see more of it on Wednesday, so I won't go too deep into it now. But we're going to see that, yes, Michael is contemplating the idea of not taking Daniel out because he could be useful to him in some ways. And we're going to see his conversation with Brittany where they talk about, like, when is the time to take the shot? You really have to know, is it too early now or will we be too late if we give up our opportunity? So this is going to be on the minds of Michael and Brittany moving forward here as the nominations move forward.
Well, I think personally, though, that because of the way that the leftovers started was kind of to protect Taylor, to be kind of her saviors. And one of the people that was causing her so much turmoil within the house was Nicole. She was out, and Daniel has been visibly nasty to her within the house. I kind of think they have to follow through with taking out Daniel if they can, just for the reason why they're on this crusade, why they're in this together, was to kind of avenge Taylor and then allowed her to have a fair chance in the game. And so, yeah, I get it. Like, Daniel, I think, made a decent pitch with the fact that, like, hey, like, I have the most comp wins like you do. Like, I can be a bit of a shield for you. Like, let's work together. It was a decent pitch, but I do think that just to stand up for Taylor fully, just like let that fully be done with. I do think that he should take out Daniel.
Yeah.
Especially if they're in the final three.
Yeah. And it was a decent pitch after he had been such a mess, like we discussed earlier, throwing Michael's name out there. You're going to win it all. And, everything else. And now he comes around and he's like, oh, well, you can use me. Well, can I really? Can I trust anything about you? You haven't been trustworthy so far. You haven't been a good game player. Why now? And yeah, I guess if someone else, if he does the backdoor plan and someone else wins Veto and it just happens to not get used, okay, I can understand Michael saying, I'm not mad at that. But the chances of that, I think, Taran, you went over like what the odds were with who could be picked and when, and on one of the daily segments, and not great chances. And so it's just, yeah, okay. If it happens, it happens, and good. But like I said, no, now is not the time to make an obvious big move like that. And just let it happen. Take him out, get rid of him, make Taylor happy, make so many other people happy, and make us happy. That's really what matters. And, get him out of there before jury.
Yeah, and just it's a move that upsets nobody, which is usually if you are already in power in a good spot, that's what you want. It's the opposite of what I advise for players that are like on the bottom. You never want to please anybody if you're not in a good spot, because pleasing everybody means doing the status quo, which means you stay at the bottom. But if you're at the top, pleasing everybody means status quo. You stay at the top. So usually a pretty good thing to do. The thing that Michael is concerned about is, will I be able to stay on top with the current status quo, or do I need to shift it myself right now in order to stay on top? And I agree. I don't think so. I don't think he needs to right now. There's, again, the pitch from Kyle, which, again, hopefully we'll see on Wednesday, begs to differ. But I do think that there are some things that he should probably be doing to set himself up in the coming weeks to make sure that he does not get dethroned. But I don't think that those things include not doing the easy thing this week and just going after Daniel. But he has set things up here. Terrence, Monty, and Joseph have been nominated for eviction, and Monty feels pretty good.
I kind of feel like I'm having my muffin and eating it too.
That's what it's
line.
That's what it's called when you have one muffin and you eat half of another muffin.
Muffin.
You still have a muffin. So, by the way, I forgot about this. They actually showed. So this was a thing when Jasmine was concerned about the muffin. She was going around saying, like, I'm going to find out who ate my muffin, because I'm going to go in the diary room and they're going to tell me, because they've got the footage. And she was like, so you'd better tell me now, because I'm going to find it out. So she goes in the diary room, and apparently this is what happened in the diary room. They actually showed us the producer voice.
I don't think we can do that.
Yeah.
Dang it.
That's I think one of the few times that we've ever heard that voice before, like from the diary room. Other than like OTT, I can't even think of another time. Or that was Big Brother Canada. So yeah, I loved hearing that. He's like, I don't think that's a thing.
I just thought it was so funny that she thought that she could convince them. I mean, they play it off here like she, was laughing about it, but. When she was storming in there, she seemed serious. Like, they are going to tell me. No, they're not. No.
Muffins are serious business, David.
I mean, the other thing is they actually hashtagged it on the screen. When was the last time? Now, maybe I just haven't been noticing, but I feel like Big Brother hashtagging stuff on the screen ended a couple years ago, or am I forgetting?
I think so for the most part. But I think Muffingate was like a genuine hashtag. So they were like, let's pretend that we came up with
right,
this.
right. I think they saw it was already out there and they're like, oh, let's jump on board.
Look at the power we have on social media. We suggested Muffingate as a hashtag, and it was trending days before we did it.
Well, hopefully that's why they got the idea to show this segment, because maybe they wouldn't have showed it.
Well, as we know, it broke the internet.
It kind of did.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so Monty, Joseph, and Terrence are on the block, but the plan is theoretically to take out Daniel. But again, Michael tells us he might have some other ideas. That it might not go as smoothly for Monty as he thinks, that he may not be able to eat his muffin.
I mean, Daniel, sorry, not Daniel. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Michael, please don't be thinking this way. But I know that they need to have these sound bites. Like, they probably make him talk through every scenario. And so they choose what's going to be, most suspenseful. But I'm just like, no, don't do it, Michael. Just stick to the plan.
Yeah. I mean, the thing was, they also, showed Michael talking to Daniel and saying, well, people are going to come up here and tell me to backdoor you, so I'll nominate someone else. And I just, I mentioned before, if we ended on that cliffhanger, it would have been better than this ending. And I think so. I mean, it's a nomination ceremony is so anticlimactic like this, where it literally everyone knows who's going up. Everyone knows what the plan is, although, yeah, there's this, potential change to it. The people who are going up know they're going up. They know their pawns, and they're not the oh, Daniel and Nicole know things. It's just, I don't know. It was just meh at the end. It wasn't something big like they're supposed to end on.
Not every ending can have a muffin in it, except this one could have.
It could.
But what are you gonna do? Anything else from the episode that we should bring up before we get into some spoilers?
No, I just think we need to remember, as Jasmine said, the muffin didn't do anything to anybody.
I'm surprised we didn't have a muffin counter though. Like, how many times was the word muffin uttered by by Jasmine?
Well, look, if you are listening to this podcast and you want to tweet at us how many times we said muffin in this podcast, you can do so at Armstrong Taran.
What's our guess?
I feel like in this podcast,
we might still mention it within the rest of the podcast. So.
Oh yeah, I'm including future muffin references in my guess at this time. I think that right now we're at roughly, if I say muffin a few more muffin times, about 26 muffins. And then as we continue the muffin podcast, we'll probably end at around 38.
I'll take the muffin over.
I was gonna take over as well. Okay, but just to make things interesting, I'll take the under.
Okay.
So I think it'll be over. I think we're over 38.
See, the difference is I can now muffin alter the muffin stats to muffin make sure that I muffin win.
Okay, but I also win if I divide the number in half and it's still below 38.
That's right.
All right.
If you take the bottom of the muffin.
Exactly.
Do bottoms count?
Yeah.
As muffins? That's the question. Thank you all for joining us for the episode portion. It's time for some spoilers.
The Office of Civil Defense has issued the following message. This is
a spoiler.
Warning.
A spoiler.
Warning means that an actual
spoiler
against this country has been detected and that protective action should be taken.
Do you like my TikTok dance?
Yes, thank you. Do you have an account?
I'm sorry that I wasn't crying during it. I feel like that would have really sold it better. But let's talk some spoilers. Let's do it. We had a veto competition, and it was Otev. And in the veto competition, Michael won his fourth veto in 5 weeks. He is 4 for 4 in veto competitions.
He did not need to win this at all. Why is he doing?
I mean, he made it sound like he did, but he made it sound, I guess, didn't they say that Terrence threw it to him at the end? But why are you even there at the end?
He wanted options. He was hoping that there was a chance he still wanted to make the move on Monty.
But he could have probably convinced anybody. Sorry, who was playing the veto again?
So it was the final four. It was Turner and Jasmine. They were the first two out. So the final four were Monty, Joseph, Terrence, and Michael. So if he didn't want the veto to be used, he had to win it to prevent that from happening. Right. The problem is that as soon as he won the veto, he decided, yeah, I want to use it after all.
Yeah.
So it just was it was like, especially because OTAV is it's kind of difficult and you have to try really hard. And if you are doing well, like everybody can recognize that you're doing well at remembering these whatever ingredients that you have to put together and which house guest it is. It's just showing even more so that he's a strong competitor, because it's not just like a crapshoot or like, a balance competition. Like, it's something that, he has knowledge that's going to be useful for him later on in the game. So I thought it showed a lot of cards that I don't think that he should have showed.
Yeah. Yeah, and but it was also something of a an elimination competition, and I mean that not just they were one by one knocked out of the competition, but sent to the ER practically. So
Yes. Well, we do know that Michael won using the stockpile strategy, which again, being a fan comes in handy. But yes, there were some injuries here. Turner apparently dislocated his knee. Brittany needed stitches for her knee. It was quite the injury-filled competition here. That man, people are falling all over the place and they're getting injured left and right.
I just want Turner to sit somewhere and ask Jasmine, hey, bestie, can you get me something? Can you get me this? Can you cook me some shrimp and rice?
Can you make me some muffins?
Yeah, can you? Yes, can you clean the dishes for me? I mean, he's his injury, which I don't know. I've had knee issues. I've had knee surgery. I've never had a dislocated knee, but that doesn't sound at all good. And it's probably 10 times worse than what Jasmine had. And I bet he will be mobile 10 times earlier than she was.
Do you think it's all these injuries because there's an extra person that was playing this time around?
Oh no, there's a long history of harm being done in OTEV.
So sorry.
Yeah.
But has there ever been another
new.
time where there wasn't just 6 players?
This is probably the first time we've had 7 players on OTEV. Yeah, I think so. I mean, 7 players in general in a veto competition is pretty rare to begin with.
That's true too. Very true.
Yeah.
So Michael has the veto, and immediately, so the thing that they have not shown yet, but may on Wednesday, probably not to its fullest extent, but the thing is that Kyle has been pitching hard that he thinks that Monty, Joseph, Taylor, Jasmine, Terrence, and Indy are all working together under the guise of what he's essentially calling like a cookout alliance, which they are not. Now, Monty and Joseph are saying that they are being pitched an alliance from Jasmine that includes Terrence and Indy, but not Taylor. But Kyle has really been pushing this idea that these people are definitely working together, and that's a bad thing for himself and Michael and Brittany and all of the rest of the house guests who happen to be white. And so the thing about that theory is that it came crashing down with oomph when Michael won the veto, and every one of those people in the supposed group, minus Joseph and Taylor, started pitching to Michael, you shouldn't use the veto. We're going to take out Monty. It'll be so good. You should totally make this move. And so Michael is like, oh, Monty is not nearly in as good a spot as I thought he was, because they all want him gone. Okay, I don't have to make that move. Bye, Daniel.
Yeah.
Which I'm happy that people came around to this at this point, but I am just like frustrated with like what happened to Kyle. Like all of a sudden, like he's not seeing straight. Like I don't want him to be talked about negatively outside of the house for like him putting these people together for this reason and keep on continuously pitching it. Like, I don't know why he hasn't kind of edited a little bit and been like, oh, maybe that might not look great to group these people together who I do not know definitively are working together, and then wanting to, target them. And so I'm happy that it's not going to be, people are not going to follow through with his idea, this plan, and it's not going to work right now. But I'm frustrated that Kyle, like, I was so liking him, and then I'm interested to see where he'll fall on the stock watch, like, because
where he'll fall
high up there, and now he's going to be probably hovering near Daniel.
Yeah, he has gone through an interesting ride so far, a little bit of a roller coaster. He started off pregame pretty low and then rose up, and everybody's like, oh, maybe we judged him too early. And now this, and it's like, oh, maybe not. And just his reasoning, such as it is, rationalization, I guess, it doesn't make sense. Well, this person's here to represent their group, and this person's here to represent their different group. So therefore, they must be working together. What? I mean, it just doesn't even logically make sense.
It's a very incorrect read, as has been evidenced by the events on the feeds, and the fact that it was just flat out wrong to begin with, and never needed that element to be added to it at all. There was, again, Monty and Joseph were both saying, yeah, don't worry, we've got Terrence, we've got Jasmine, we've got Indy. That by itself, easy. Look at them. They think they've got these people that they're working with. That's dangerous to us. So simple. But yet again, it just comes down to really the addition of Taylor, where all of a sudden he's like, nah, Taylor's also involved because it's this much bigger thing. And the idea that it's a much bigger thing makes it so much less believable when it's nowhere near solid. And it's really just it's been tanking Kyle for a bit. Michael himself said on the feeds last night to the cameras that it would really kill him to cut Kyle, but not as much anymore after some of the comments that he's been making. So, you know, it really has put a huge detour on Kyle's game, because this direction that he was going in was actually really good. And now there's been a huge roadblock put in the way, which is that, you know, you've attached this theory to it that has been proven very wrong, and definitely seems a bit wrong to begin with. So, you know, that group might not come together anymore. And it probably would have if you hadn't attached this theory to it. So that's kind of where things stand right now. The leftovers have found a new lease on their loyalty, and they are not throwing those leftovers out quite yet. The smell test passed, and the food's still good. And you can keep on eating those muffins.
I'm happy that the leftovers are still together. Like, I do think that this is probably the last week we'll say that I'm really happy about the leftovers sticking together. I think it's because I do want Taylor to feel comfortable in the house. And if her two main adversaries are gone, like, you know, it's a little bit of a clean slate, kind of at the beginning of jury, and we're expecting. And so then, you know, obviously I want them to stick together for Taylor's sake, but then if things start happening, I won't be as upset about it. So I'm good this week. Maybe next week I wouldn't mind, you know, Kyle deciding to break out and do something wild, as long as the people that I like are able to prevail.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see who, you know, to jump ahead to that, wins the next HOH, because we know it can't be Michael, although he'll probably win Veto. But you know, and it probably won't be Brittany. And so, you know, is it going to be Monty? If it's Monty, do they stay together some more? I know we're projecting way into the future here, but yeah, it'll be interesting. If it's Kyle, who knows what'll happen.
Yeah. Speaking of, Michael is on his way to some records here. The most vetoes won in a single season is 5. Many people have tied for that record. He just needs one more to tie it. And then he's got a lot of vetoes. 8 vetoes remain in the game. So depending on how long he lasts, he has the ability to crush that veto record. And then on top of that, it's, I believe, 5 vetoes and 4 HOHs for the Janelle record. So he needs to win 3 more HOHs and 1 veto. And he has truly fulfilled the "what would Janelle do" prophecy.
That would be, and then go out third, right? I mean, that's the kind of what would happen, of course. Anyways, I do want to see him fulfill some of his Janelle prophecy. What would Janelle do? A lot of this, but she definitely has been saying, even when she's talking with McCrae on their podcast, that like, Michael, what are you doing? You're winning too much. And so even Janelle saying that right now. So Janelle wouldn't do that if she was in Michael's shoes.
She just doesn't want him to beat her record. That's the real reason,
I mean, yes, it must be a weird spot to be like, oh, look at this. This guy's a fan of me. This is so fun. He's saying, what would Janelle do? He won a veto. This is so great. Oh, he won another veto. Look at this he's a little mini Janelle. This is so cool. He won a third veto. Wow, this is great. He won an HOH. Okay, Michael, you're doing so well. Won a fourth veto. Great job, Michael. Might want to chill on that. Might want to not look. My record has gone untouched for 15 years. You don't need to get this close.
Yeah, I remember when the baseball home run record was up for grabs in the McGuire-Sosa era, and I remember they had the existing holder of the record, sitting in the stands when it could be broken. And it's like he was, supposedly there to honor them. And, he's just sitting there like, can he just strike out? Do I really want to be here? I don't. Why am I handing over my crown? Why am I here?
Yes. I'd say, and we're joking around. I'm sure Janelle is very, very happy for Michael. I'm sure that's exactly what's happening. So anything else we should talk about here before we start to wrap up?
No, I think we've got it. I think we've got it covered.
All right, just keep your eyes out on a Joseph Taylor pairing here, because we've got a little bit of crush action going on. But we talked about that already, and as of right now, it remains one-sided, seemingly, and we're not exactly sure where it's going to go. So just keep an eye on the Taylor Joseph.
I think Tajo would be a better ship name.
Tajo?
What was it? Jaylor?
Jailer?
I don't.
Jailer.
I think Tajo is better.
Tajo. It's still not like
Jote.
hitting me.
Tasef.
Joler.
Tasif. I like Tasif.
Yeah.
We'll
go with Tasif.
Look,
but
it's unfortunately not my call.
That's true. I'm going to ship this for now. Just for the fact that it's just kind of cute, fun, and flirty. And as you and Mary were talking about, like, we like this stage of showmances, and we don't like the stage that we're in with Kyle and Alyssa. So I'm fine with it for now, because it's just like flirty and silly, and like, oh my God, does he? Oh, his ex-girlfriend looks like me. Oh, okay, that's funny. That's weird. Like, I'm fine with this. It's silly. It's girly, or like, it's fun. But that's it. No more. I don't want them to go past this level. Just always stay here. Please.
Oh boy. All right. Well, that's what we have for you then tonight on this Sunday night. Good episode, good podcast, good actual friends.
That's my friend. My actual friend.
Yeah, that's what we've got. So make sure you come and hang out over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Taran Armstrong. You may call yourself a fan of Big Brother. You may call yourself a fan of the podcast. But if you're not checking out my Twitch stream, then you know what?
No, you're not. You're not.
You love this one.
So come hang out. Watch the episodes live with me. We'll make predictions. We'll make it fun. It'll be a good time. Also, find me over on Twitter at Armstrong Taran. Check out some of my YouTube videos. I've been dropping some Among Us videos. And today I dropped the Big Brother Canada 10 Soundbite Tournament.
Ooh.
64 sound bites entered, and only one was allowed to leave. Which soundbite came out on top? Find out. Watch the video.
Did you do like a tier maker? Like, how did you do
It was a full-on bracketed tournament with a loser's bracket, a redemption island.
How fun.
Yeah, it was a good time. So you can check out the YouTube version of it over there on YouTube. Check out all that good stuff. I'll, of course, be live tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern to update on everything that happens today on the Big Brother 24 live feeds. And, of course, on Tuesday night, we'll have the next Roundtable podcast. So tune in for that. Chantele, what do you got going on?
Well, actually, I did an episode of Pod Friends, so that should be dropping today, I believe. So I talked with Matt Scott about all things that make me me, and so make sure you check that out. Other than that, on ShanFriend at ShanFriendFriend on Instagram, you'll find all my socials. But on YouTube, I'm Reality Realness with 3 S's. Go over there, ring the bell, hang out with me. I go live often.
All right, and David, what do you got going on?
We had Why Nicole Lost. That came out this weekend, Sunday morning. And like I said, gave you a little preview of a little bit of why she lost, but there were some other reasons. So had to get into all of that, and doing that every weekend with Ovi. And of course, like you mentioned before, on TikTok at David_Bloomberg, where I'm doing, among other things, the a lot of Big Brother stuff, and Survivor South Africa mini Why Blank Losts for each person that goes there. So get the very condensed 1 to 2 minute version there.
Boom. Look forward to the making fun of Taylor video. TikTok.
Yes.
That I missed. Always good to hear from Ovi. Very glad that Ovi's got some regular content coming our way. So make sure you check out the Why Blank and/or X Lost podcast. Thank you all so much for joining us here today, and I will see all of you